Good evening. How do you do? A very warm welcome to TV 47 Spotlight this 11th day of the month of July 2021. My name is Grace Josephine and we have a lot lined up for you. But before we get right into that, a look at our top stories tonight.
Wili watu 5-6 wanamsumbua rais atitubadilishe katiba kwa sababu ya tamaa yao ya kutafuta vyeo.
Deputy President William Ruto accuses NASA of frustrating President Kenyatta's service delivery. Ruto says his boss has shifted his focus to uniting NASA, but NASA members think the coalition is beyond repair.
Sisi hatutaki kurudi kurevive NASA. Wacha NASA ifariki na sisi tuna Musalia Mudavadi ambaye tunapeana mbele ya wananchi.
Also tonight, it's getting hot in Kiamba. Police cancel UDA and Jubilee rallies at Karuri Primary School.
We decided that we cannot have a state of anarchy and lawlessness in Kiamba. Both events stand cancelled.
IEBC says all is set for the Thursday by-election. Plus, one person has died after reportedly consuming adulterated liquor in Nyahururu, Laikipia County. 9 people are admitted at the Nyahururu Referral Hospital in critical condition. A very warm welcome to this broadcast. My name is Grace Josephine and our sign language interpreter tonight is Amini Mbesa. One person has died and 9 others are admitted to hospital after they reportedly consumed illicit liquor in Nyahururu town, Laikipia County. Confirming the incident, Health Chief Officer at the Nyahururu Referral Hospital, Donald Mugoi, said the 9 were rushed to the facility in critical condition, as Andrew Kilemi now reports.
One after the other, they are moved from the back of the police car to the stretcher and rushed to Nyahururu Referral Hospital for emergency treatment. What was expected to be a merry-making affair has now turned into a deadly affair.
Wengine ni marafiki zangu, mimi nimepigiwa simu nikiwa mbali, nikafikiria nikuje niwaone manake ni marafiki zangu.
Wengine tulikuwa makanisa, tukatoka tu, tukaambiwa kuna watu wamepata wamekunywa pombe, lakini tumesunguka sana, tumewaleta hospitali.
According to Dr. Felix Masongo, who is in charge of the Nyahururu County Referral Hospital, the 9 were taken to the facility Sunday morning by police officers after they started vomiting and experiencing severe stomach pain.
We've attended to 10 patients, 6 of whom we've admitted for observation. 3 of whom we have discharged after ascertaining that they are in stable condition. And then unfortunately one of them succumbed.
It is alleged that the 10 men consumed 2 liquor brands during celebrations to mark their friend's birthday at a pub in the town.
Yokozuna sikukunywa. Hapana. Lakini ningekunywa, lakini vile nilienda kupeleka vitu zangu kazini huko, nikaona hakuna haja ya kutenda kuja hapa juu. Nikakunywa hiyo ingine. Acha Mungu, acha kuna Mungu mbinguni. Kwa sababu kuna Mungu mbinguni, unajua kwa sababu nakuambia hivyo, kwa sababu kama singeenda kanisa hata mimi ningekuwa huko.
The health officer has urged individuals who may have consumed the contaminated alcohol to seek medical attention immediately.
Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali ijue vile itafanya, especially Nyahururu imezidi sana, vijana wote wamekuwa kama viwete.
Nyahururu Sub-County Police Commander Mary Kiema said they have launched investigations into the matter. Andreen Kilemi, TV 47.
On to a little bit of politics. Drama unfolded in Kiamba today after supporters of both the Jubilee and the UDA parties pitched tent at Karuri Primary School grounds where both parties plan to hold campaign rallies. police were forced to intervene, cordoned off and cancelled both events. And as Mwangi Maina reports, police have launched a manhunt for the school's head teacher following reports that he allowed both parties to use the grounds without involving the authorities.
Chaos erupted in Kiambaa today as UDA and Jubilee supporters were blocked by police from accessing Karuri Primary School, where they were expected to hold their political rallies. Police engaged supporters of the two political parties in running battles for the better part of the day. The two groups failed to reach a consensus after it emerged that the head teacher of Karuri Primary School, who is being sought by police, had authorized the two political events to take place simultaneously without involving the authorities. Amid the ensuing shouting matches between the two camps, Kiambu County Police Commander Ali Nuno and Kiambaa Deputy County Commissioner Peter Maina cancelled the meetings, and a contingent of police officers sealed off the venue.
We have been put in a very awkward situation, very bad situation. Therefore, we decided that we cannot have a state of anarchy and lawlessness in Kiambaa. Both events stand cancelled.
Tumepeana alternative. Kuna uwanja hapa juu ya primary, ya secondary. Kama mpira inaweza chezewa huko, tungefurahi sana. Lakini kama wamekataa, tumeonelea to be fair. Function zote mbili suspendiwe na hatutakuwa na function hapa.
Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndende Nyoro accused the government of using the police officers to intimidate the UDA party. Nyoro called on the authorities not to use excessive force and allow Kiambaa residents to exercise their democratic right come election day.
Kwa nini wanataka kuharibu function ya vijana wa Kiambaa? Kwa nini? Sisi tunasema hiyo ni siasa ambayo imepitwa na wakati. Sio siasa ya kutisha raia, kuwaletea polisi. Tungeomba polisi wageletwa kulinda wachezaji.
Kiambaa constituents will go to the ballot Thursday to elect their member of parliament who will succeed late Paul Koinange, who passed away in March. Mwangi Maina, TV 47, Nairobi.
Deputy President William Ruto has hit out at the National Super Alliance leaders, asking them to give President Uhuru Kenyatta time to work for Kenyans. And as Mike Kagwongo reports, Ruto says that the president was elected to serve Kenyans and not just a few individuals.
Speaking in Huruma, where he attended a church service at African Holy Ghost Christian Church on Sunday, Ruto called out the NASA leaders, accusing them of shifting the head of state's focus to uniting them instead of service delivery.
Viongozi wenzangu, tuwache kusumbua rais. Rais amechaguliwa ili tuweze kupanga maendeleo na kusimamia maendeleo ya Wakenya milioni 45. Rais hajachaguliwa kushughulikia watu 5-6 wa upande hiyo nyingine.
The DP has been accusing opposition leaders of pushing for a constitutional amendment for their own benefits.
Tena wanazidi kusumbua rais saizi ati sisi utupange kama watu ya NASA. Sasa rais anasumbuka na hiyo watu kujaribu na hawaelewani, kila mtu wako na tamaa, huyu wako na tamaa. Huyu mwingine anasema sijui yako na risasi ngapi. Ule mwingine anasema hawezi kufanya kazi na huyu mwingine. Sasa wanamsumbua rais badala ya rais kufanyia kazi wa Kenya. Sasa rais amekuwa ati anashughulikia watu 5 hapo kujaribu kuwapanga na tamaa yao na kiburi yao na mambo yao ya ego kubwa, mpaka Kenya imekwama kwa sababu wanaume wachache hapo wanazunguka wakitafuta mambo yao.
The Court of Appeal is yet to make a ruling on the Building Bridges Initiative appeal that was before a 7-judge bench.
Lakini hii handshake ikakuja ikalete mambo ya kubadilisha katiba ambayo sisi hatukuwa na mpango ya kubadilisha katiba. Si ni kweli? Sasa mambo ya katiba tunashukuru kwa sababu kule kotini imeweka full stop kidogo. Na iko katika Court of Appeal, tunajua wale majaji watafanya haki kwa Kenya. Wananchi wadogo wamefunga biashara, watu wamefutwa makazi, Tunaona hata serikali saizi badala ya kusaidia wananchi, wana fuel matingatinga, wanakanyanga manyumba ya Wakenya. Tunataka tuombe serikali yetu, tuombe rais wetu arudi vile ambayo tulimchagua kama Wakenya na hudumie Wakenya.
The ruling is scheduled for August 20th this year. The DP told off his critics over his church donations. ODM boss Raila Odinga has been questioning Ruto's source of wealth and the donations he has been giving out in churches.
Mimi nimelaumiwa zaidi na wale ambao tunashindana na wao. Wanasema huyu bwana anasaidia makanisa, anasaidia mama mboga, amesaidia watu wa bodaboda, na ni kweli hawajasema vibaya. Wanasema nimefanya kazi hiyo yote. Na mimi nataka niwaambie nitaendelea kufanya kazi hiyo hata zaidi. Na wacha sasa hii tunatoa pesa yetu ya mfuko kusukuma hiyo kazi. Kuanzia mwaka ujao, hawa bodaboda na mama mboga na hawa wengine tutaweka pesa ya serikali kuwasaidia.
Na wameona hawawezi pigana na yeye hivi hivi. Hawa wanafikiria wakishikana vile wako, kwa sababu hao ni watu wakubwa wakubwa, baba zao walikuwa watu wakubwa wakubwa, wakishikana wote wanataka ndio wapigane na yeye.
Ruto was accompanied by MPs Nixon Korir of Langata, Benjamin Gadhiru of Embakasi Central, John Kiarie of Dagoretti South, nominated Senator Millicent Omanga among other leaders. For TV 47, I'm Mike Kagwango.
Moving on, National Speaker Justin Muturi has downplayed claims that he is President Uhuru Kenyatta's political project in the 2022 general elections. Speaking during a church service in ACK, Kanywambora, Mbeere North, Speaker Muturi said his push to vie for the country's top seat was not in any way influenced by President Kenyatta. Muturi further stating that he is optimistic that he will become Kenya's 5th president. He has urged politicians to avoid rather divisive politics during the political season.
Nataka kusema leo mchana kinaga ubaga. Mimi mtu anasema iko project. Mimi kama mnasema kama kuna kitu inaitwa project, mimi ni project ya Mungu. And I have what it takes to vie for the topmost seats in this country.
Well, 12 minutes past the hour, and that report brings us to our fast breather. Don't go too far away as we have a lot more lined up for you.
Why crocodile inaweza tokea juu. Hiyo sijakula hata unataka nikufe kabla ni. I don't like it. I don't. Miss Kai na hipo ikitokelezea ivuruche simu yangu. No, ni sawa. Those who know me will tell you I'm not a lover of large volumes of water. But for you, we roam the different parts of the country and beyond just to make sure that we bring you the experience. We educate you, we entertain you, and we inform you.
That it's not political and it can do something.
As we sail the boat of Morning Cafe to enlighten you, entertain you, and inform you every Monday to Friday, only on TV 47.
Woo. Construction can be quite a task, but how do you move from finding your piece of land, sourcing the right materials, getting the right labor force to put up your building? Or better yet, how do you source for a building that's already built?
Just a small size of land can suit just a big mash on it because you are going high.
How do you ensure you get the right finishes to bring out the aesthetic value of your property and make it not only look good, but also feel good?
The buyers in this area are the buyers who are able to pay cash.
Well, we have it right here on The Realtor on TV 47. where we demystify building right here in Kenya and analyze the property industry for you to take advantage when acquiring your next piece of property.
Every February, we hear men joking about going to a men's conference on Valentine's Day. We laugh about it, the lucky ones end up having a decent Valentine's Day, and we move on. But what we do not know is that men actually do meet up. Men do sit down and have conversations about things that affect their day-to-day life.
Let me ask, does money make the man?
Give them the gifts, shower them with everything you want to shower them with, but keep your money to yourself.
I, for one, have always been curious as to what goes on in a man's mind, specifically an alpha male's mind.
Adam, yule kwa Biblia anasema ni mtu wa kwanza duniani. Wewe unadhani kama angekuwa hana yale matunda, hana ile garden yake pale ya kukaa, angekuwa tu ni mdomo tu anamfuata Hawa. Oya, mimi ni Adam.
Welcome to the men's conference, where we make men alpha males. My name is Archie, the only female allowed at the conference.
My name is Monica Nyashira Njogona. I am a wife and a mother of 3, and I am a crochet ambassador. This began some years ago when I could not find a white-collar job.
Thank you for keeping it here at TV 47 Weekend. Now moving on, ANC members believe that NASA coalition is dead and beyond repair. The leaders are calling on their party leader, Musalia Mudavadi, not to push back to the coalition. And as Paul Kirubino reports, there has been calls to revive the coalition ahead of 2022.
With calls to revive the one-time opposition coalition NASA, section of members of ANC believes the coalition is beyond repair. Amani National Congress Party leader Musalia Mudavadi has been trashing the possibility of NASA principals working together in the coming elections, saying the alliance is irredeemable. Mudavadi says NASA is functionally defunct, citing betrayal from his co-principals.
Yule bwana yetu akapata mpango wa kando, akatuacha kwa mataa. Sasa Apostle, chama cha ANC kiko kwa kitu inaitwa abusive marriage.
Kwa hivyo maneno ya NASA, sisi hatutaki kurudi kurevive NASA. Wacha NASA ifariki, na sisi tuna Musalia Mudavadi ambaye tunapeana mbele ya wananchi, na tunaomba wananchi wa Kenya ikifika 2022 wampatie nafasi akomboe nchi letu la Kenya.
Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka on his part says is focused on the unity of purpose that will bring the country together, bring forth ideas that will help build the economy. The Wiper leader says there can never be unity of leaders aimed at an individual, but rather unity that is aimed at prosperity and cohesion of the nation.
Ambao wanasema kwamba ati tusipoungana Kenya itaangamia. Kenya haiwezi kuangamia. Watakavyoungana wataungana kwa nia safi, bila woga. Mimi kutoka leo hapa, kile ambacho natoka nacho hapa ni nguvu.
The Wiper leader spoke when he attended a Sunday service at Cathedral of Praise Church in Imara Daima, Embakasi South, where he was accompanied by his close allies, drumming up support for his 2022 candidature.
This country is just like a church. So if we put leaders that will take away from us, then Kenya haitawacha kukopa, Kenya haitaendelea. So let us agree to call a spade a what? Na unajua umeniambia niwache kuogopa. Sasa mimi nikianza kuongea na wao ujue naongea sababu ulinipea nguvu.
Wiper Party has in the past accused opposition chief Raila Odinga of unrivaled political dishonesty and greed for power. ANC boss Musalia Mudavadi claims Raila negotiated the handshake deal before the repeat presidential poll in 2017.
Bei ya vitu zimepanda, mafuta imepanda, juzi tumeongezewa gas by 350 shillings. We want to know a government ambayo itapunguza bei ya vitu kwa wananchi. Lakini ukiambiwa na watu wako ati inside NASA mukae NASA tu, where will the rest of us go? We want you to look forward and build new friendships. build new partnerships. Some of us, we cannot enter NASA, but we can support you for president.
Kwa hivyo mimi nawasihi, let the IBC this time not let Kenyans down. Agenda yangu ni fupi. Agenda number 1, uchumi. Agenda number 2, uchumi. Agenda number 3, uchumi. Mimi nasema hivyo kwa sababu ukosefu wa kazi, maisha magumu ndio yanatupiga sasa.
But a section of legislators supporting Mudavadi's presidency are pushing him to invite other key political parties to form a 2022 pre-coalition. Paul Kirobi, TV47, Nairobi.
5, 6.
Still on a political note, Deputy President William Ruto has been a man under siege 8 years since his re-election on a joint ticket with President Uhuru Kenyatta. Ruto's powers have been clipped, rendering him a stranger in the very government he helped come into power. His greatest opponent and ODM leader Raila Odinga's narrative to probe Ruto for corruption allegations in the fight against corruption have worsened the DP's chances at clinching the top seat next year. But as Musa Salana reports, the play the victim strategy employed by DP Ruto and his allies is a meticulous move that could harvest votes for Ruto, the powerless deputy.
In January 2013, under the tag Uhuruto, President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto became a national sensation. From driving in caravans in Jubilee-branded merchandise to matching ties, the duo were Kenya's presidential dream team. 8 years later, the Uhuruto marriage has collapsed, their Jubilee house deconstructed, and President Kenyatta has found himself a new suitor, opposition leader Raila Odinga.
Jubilee has made a conscious decision without any consultation at the level of the party leader to move to ODM. They are free to do so. We have made a conscious decision to move to UDA. We are free to do so. If Jubilee decides to rebrand itself and change the party colors and change the name of Jubilee, it is consistent with the behavior of Jubilee. Jubilee left a long time ago, they are in ODM. All they will be doing is confirming where they belong.
The party that was called Jubilee is not a party that is there currently. It is a former party, it is a past party, it is part of the history of this country as we talk. Whether they rebrand into green, whether they remove red and they put brown, it is their business.
Deputy President William Ruto's woes began in 2018 when President Kenyatta shook hands with Odinga on the stairs of Harambee House to end the opposition's weekly protest to boycott Jubilee's administration, and which had crippled Kenyatta's second term. According to Ruto's allies, the handshake effect had a toll on his relationship with Kenyatta, and that Ruto was sidelined in his own government, rendering him useless.
Ruto was stripped of his duties. They were given to Raila Odinga and Fred Matiang'i, and we told them to carry on. Ruto has no power in government in terms of executive function, but in terms of the power of the people, the guy is good, he is strong. And you know, power comes from the people.
The honorable thing, if I were him, you resign, because the president has no power to fire him. If you feel you have been rendered relevant and you still want to be an influential leader in the country, just resign and go away because and do your thing, because you remain there, you still held responsible. But as long as you are shouting in the street that you have been sidelined, but you are still there, you say I stay put, then you are not honest.
So long as you are a deputy, then it means there is somebody who is above you. You are not the top. And you must behave like a deputy. Actually, if you look at the history of countries and the history of the political kind of formations, anybody who is a deputy is supposed to be not only submissive, but supposed to be loyal to the principle.
Sidelined and powerless, Ruto and his allies have disassociated themselves with the Jubilee administration failures. Since taking office, the Jubilee administration has seen billions of taxpayers' money swindled and lost to corruption. Although Ruto has successfully managed to endear himself with voters through his hustler narrative, his past with graft could haunt him, with his fierce competitor Raila Odinga pushing hard Ruto's alleged involvement in corruption.
Kuna wengine wanasema sisi bado tunasubiri tu. Unajua serikali itabadilika. Akikuja hapa Narok, anakwenda kwa gavana, anaita gavana wa rafiki yangu. Sasa namwambia gavana, huyo ofisi inakuja, badala ya kusema nyang'ana yeye anasema
Others have accused us of carrying money in sacks to church. But we will not stop. We are looking for the day when we will not be taking thousands, when we will not be taking millions. We are looking for the day when we will take billions to church. And I want to ask our friends to understand us. Please, we were not people, were it not for God. We didn't have godfathers. We only have God the Father.
This could be a perception. It could be the truth. But the truth of the matter is, if you ask any Kenyan out there who William Ruto is, matters corruption, I don't think he will be ranking very low from the top. I don't think so. It might be a perception, it might be the truth, but I don't think really he is the right candidate to say I'll fight corruption. So if you are saying you really want to fight corruption, you must also be able to be seen to be against corruption.
He's still the deputy president. He has not resigned that position. He still occupies and enjoys all the privileges of government. So he can still use his influence through the same channels, the cabinet or his office, and bring out these issues, who is playing what role and who is actually funding corruption in the country. Who are these corrupt leaders whom he should name and give the names, so that we know that he is actually against certain positions held in the government. Whatever he's saying now, I think is more of playing politics than trying to take responsibility.
According to pundits, Ruto's political ambitions to succeed Kenyatta next year has cost him dearly. While his political foes have called for his resignation, the Ruto camp has cried foul of Odinga's involvement in the affairs of Jubilee administration. Sources private to Ruto's presidential aspirations, however, argue this strategy could get Ruto the numbers to State House next year.
Everybody wants to be the president, but I think for me the timing, because it's a sitting president, this is the time to support the president to deliver. And once he's out of office, then you take over. But it's like you are destabilizing the president when he wants to achieve his agenda for the country. And that means you're actually killing what I would call the president's legacy. And so, so long as you attempt to kill presidents, a sitting president's legacy, then automatically you won't have it easy. It will not be smooth.
I think he's a very cunning politician. He knows when he plays victim, Kenyans will adhere to him, and they'll think that the deputy president has been elbowed out of government, and now there are people who are lining their pockets.
With less than a year to the 2022 polls, the political arena is expected to get messy in the next few months, with politicians washing their dirty linen in public. Musa Salah, TV47.
And that detailed report by Musa Salah brings us to another break. Don't go too far away, and remember, you can always give us some of your feedback at TV47 Kenya around Facebook, and I'll sample the same before the closure of this bulletin. See you on the other side.
crocodile inaweza tokea juu. Hiyo sijakula hata unataka nikufe kabla ni. I don't like it. I don't. Kai na hipo ikitokelezea ivuruche simu yangu. No, ni sawa. Those who know me will tell you I'm not a lover of large volumes of water. But for you, we rove the different parts of the country and beyond just to make sure that we bring you the experience. We educate you, we entertain you, and we inform you.
That it's not political and it can do something.
As we sail the boat of Morning Cafe to enlighten you, entertain you, and inform you every Monday to Friday, only on TV47.
Woo. Construction can be quite a task, but how do you move from finding your piece of land, sourcing the right materials, getting the right labor force to put up your building? Or better yet, how do you source for a building that's already built?
Just a small size of land can suit just a big maisonette because you are going high.
How do you ensure you get the right finishes to bring out the aesthetic value of your property and make it not only look good, but also feel good?
The buyers in this area are the buyers who are able to pay cash.
Well, we have it right here on The Realtor on TV47, where we demystify building right here in Kenya and analyze the property industry for you to take advantage when acquiring your next piece of property.
Every February, we hear men joking about going to a men's conference on Valentine's Day. We laugh about it, the lucky ones end up having a decent Valentine's Day, and we move on. But what we do not know is that men actually do meet up. Men do sit down and have conversations about things that affect their day-to-day life.
Let me ask, does money make the man?
Give them the gifts, shower them with everything you want to shower them with, but keep your money to yourself.
I, for one, have always been curious as to what goes on in a man's mind, specifically an alpha male's mind.
Adam, yule kwa Biblia anasema ni mtu wa kwanza duniani. Wewe unadhani kama angekuwa hana yale matunda, hana ile garden yake pale ya kukaa, angekuwa tu ni mdomo tu anamfuata Hawa. Oya, mimi ni Adam.
Welcome to the men's conference, where we make men alpha males. My name is Archie, the only female allowed at the conference.
My name is Monica Nyashira Njogona. I am a wife and a mother of 3, and I am a crochet ambassador. This began some years ago when I could not find a white-collar job. I had done a course in IT. I looked for jobs everywhere and I could not find one. So I had a lot of time in my hands, and I had an idea to do crochet.
So we have a WhatsApp group. There are about 3 WhatsApp groups. They are actually full. We've been sharing information, consulting, and just encouraging each other. But surprisingly, the challenges we've been experiencing are similar. So we just try to find a way of managing our challenges. Then all of a sudden there's a challenge coming up, and that is organized by the Hazina Institute.
We realized that many people had lost their jobs. Some businesses were downsizing or closing, and therefore people were at home. Plus we had the government directives for people to work at home, and
So thank you for staying with us. Now moving on, the closure of Mumias sugar factory has had a huge impact on residents. The Mumias that was once vibrant is now a ghost town, with a majority of people who relied on the company to earn a living left helpless. Since the giant miller found itself in financial doldrums, tens of its former employees have died largely because of depression and stress-related illnesses, leaving behind widows who are unable to fend for themselves. Our reporter Violet Auma caught up with the widows, and as she now reports, a majority have been forced to do menial jobs to make ends meet.
Naitwa Lineti Alachu. Mimi ni mke wa marehemu Robert Alachu ambaye amekuwa mfanyikazi kwa Mumias Sugar Company. Wakati mzee alikuwa anafanya kazi kule Mumias, maisha ilikuwa sio magumu sana.
Pain and sorrow better explains the mood here. Accepting that her husband Robert Alacho is no more is a bitter pill she has to swallow.
Kidogo kenye tulikuwa nacho pia tukao tukitumia tu kwa magonjwa. Kwa ajili ya ukosefu wa fedha, mzee akatuacha.
Her husband's grave at Mungore village, Bumula sub-county in Bungoma County is still fresh.
Akaniambia atiwe kama msichana wangu nipikie ugali niko nakuja kukula, and I thought he's coming back to eat. Okay, that is how everything changed, and maisha sasa ni ngumu kwa sababu staying without dad.
The late Alacho was a former employee of Mumias Sugar Company, having served in the company since 2013.
And every time ungepata akirudi kutoka Mumias, lazima hakikisha amebeba kitu kama box yenye anarudi nayo nyumbani. Sasa tulikuanga tunaishi pale chini, tukimuona na huko hivyo, ile mbio tutatoka mbio kwa sababu tunajua dada anarudi amebeba kitu at least.
He used to work lakini hawakuwa wanalipwa hizo pesa. Na tulikuwa na matumaini ya kuwa siku moja watakuja kufanya nini? Kuwalipa, lakini ghafla binifu mashini ikafungwa.
Lynette says all was well until trouble crept in the giant sugar miller. She says the collapse of the miller dealt a major blow to the family since her husband was the sole breadwinner.
Ilibidi hata watoto tuwatoe boarding schools wakuje katika shule za kawaida za nyumbani.
Unajua mtu umezoea life ya boarding, kurudi huko and it is like ni mbali kiasi, na nilikuwa natembea peke yangu going at 5.
Things got out of hand and they had to relocate back to the village after her husband's health deteriorated.
Ilibidi tena tukubali. Hatuwezi control situation.
She said they spent literally everything to save his life, but in vain. He died, leaving them with a huge hospital bill that has not been cleared to date.
Ilibidi tukatafuta mtu, tukauza hiyo around 1 acre ya miwa yenye tulikuwa mzee alikuwa akipanda hiyo miwa akiprepare for the feast ya watoto. Tulikuwa na kang'ombe ka grade, tukatoa tukashughulikia kwa magonjwa yote. Hata saizi ukiangalia kwa hii boma uwezi wana kuku.
She says her husband's death has left behind a scar and a void that nobody can fill. Her life has become unbearable. His death aggravated the situation. Her 3 children forced to quit school due to lack of fees.
Maisha bado ni magumu. Firstborn ako college Matili Technical Training Institute, hajaripoti bado kwa ajili ya fedha.
His son Peter Alacho, who had just joined college, is back home together with his sister, whose dream of becoming a teacher may never be realized because of the financial struggles.
Sija join college bado because of school fees. Babangu venye alitoka Mumias, so ikabidi nimeachia, he's my elder brother, so ikabidi nimemwachia nafasi at least ya join.
They have now resorted to do menial jobs to put food on the table, taking one day at a time.
Saiku hustle ni kulimia tu watu na kuuza kuni. Hiyo ndio kazi yenye iko, tujua hakuna kazi nyingine. Na saa hii pengine kibariki kipatikana sasa ya kuvuna mahindi vile inakaribia, itabidi tu tuingie kwa hizo ndio tupate sasa chakula.
Mimi na ndugu yangu tukaamua acha tujenge mama nyumba. Ni mabati tulichukua tu ya nyumba ya huko chini tukaekelea, and right now ni sisi wenyewe tu. Ndugu yangu anatengeneza udongo, ananiambia kuja uweke ndani.
We took a tour of Mumias Sugar Company housing units at Artsan Estate that once housed hundreds of its employees. It's dead silent here. Some houses seem abandoned. We meet a 45-year-old Jacqueline Okaka in one of the units. She is a widow who lives in this one-bedroomed unit with her 4 children.
Wao wakubwa mbele wametoka, wengine wameenda kutafuta vibarua huko nje. Because kuna wengine hata wakumaliza college, kabidi waka drop out kwa sababu lack of fees.
2 of them are boys who dropped out of college due to lack of fees.
One board fees. Sasa ibidi atafute kibarua afanye. Anafanya tu kwa anasaidia mama tu kusaidia kazi ya nyumba. At least naweza tu sustain pia kidogo kwa nyumba.
Her husband was an employee of Mumias Sugar Company for 27 years before his untimely death in 2017.
Pressure ilikuja ikakuwa juu na alikuwa peke yake kwa nyumba.
Sasa nile aliamka tu asubuhi akafungua mlango, akafungulia, nilikuwa na kuku kiasi hapo. Sasa akafungulia kuku, kurudi kwa nyumba, ndio vile alibaki hivyo.
She tells me that her life dramatically took a U-turn after her husband's death.
Hata token, unashinda unakaa kwa giza, unafika mahali unatumia hata kuni. Life has just changed totally. Hata watoto, they don't know what to do now. Hata mtoto mwenye anaenda class 8 sijui itakuwa aje. Sasa wakaamua aweke kila nyumba token. Sasa inafika mahali hata hiyo token hauwezi afford kuilipa. Sasa inabidi unakaa kwa giza. Siku ile utapata pesa ndio ulipe. But initially kampuni ndio ilikuwa tunaketa for the electricity. Hata maji saa zingine unapata maji pia inapotea. Kuna mtaro mwingine unapitisha maji, hapo ndio watu tunatumia hiyo maji.
This is the only place she calls home together with her children. She says her husband's plans to purchase a parcel of land and put a home never materialized.
So hata nikienda naenda kuingia wapi? Sasa hata nikikaa hapa naona nyumba inanisaidia.
Lynette and Jacqueline are among many widows left with the enormous responsibility of fending for their families. They have to toil to put food on the table.
Pata mtu anatafuta kibarua afulie mtu nje ndio apate vile watoto wanakula. Na kama ni wanaume wengine wapata wameingia kwa bodaboda hivyo. That is to get a way of surviving the children.
The company's legal officer, Patrick Mtuli, has however expressed hope of revival of the once a vibrant sugar industry, saying that this will improve the living standards and rejuvenate the once a vibrant Mumias economy.
The receiver told the Senate committee that they had not yet settled on any investor. The process was still ongoing. The process does not take one day. It involves the banks, it involves the central bank. If it is a foreign company, it involves the central bank of that particular company. So when the bank is doing this due diligence, it is only just unfair that they should be given that opportunity in order to come up with the best to help the company and all the stakeholders. We should not politic about the revival of Mumias.
He says the receiver manager should be allowed to roll out his turnaround strategy to revive the ailing miller, noting that this will address the plight of not only employees but also farmers and the country at large by offering employment and economy-wise.
It is under receivership. Our pilot here is the receiver manager. The receiver is in a better position after doing his assessment to tell what is best for the company, what is best for the stakeholders. And for stakeholders here, we are talking about farmers, we are talking about staff, we are talking about secured creditors, and we are talking about unsecured creditors. You and me know that the banks are in a better position to evaluate any person who wants to be an investor.
The affected families now hope that one day the once giant miller will open its doors again and will be paid their husbands' dues.
Ukikaa na mtoto kwa nyumba na watoto wengine wako wanasoma, unaona hiyo ndio inaniumiza kabisa. Sasa ndio sisi tunaomba kampuni kama inaweza tulipe hizo pesa zilibaki, at least hata mimi niende shule kwa sababu sijaenda shule bado. Sasa nile nakaa hapa nikisema okay fine, nikikuwa na hopes hiyo pesa inaweza kutoka tulipwe, watu pay whatever they can give us.
Violet Auma, TV47, Kakamega.
What an unfortunate turn of events there. Let's hope the relevant authorities get to do what is right. Now, moving on, the Jubilee Party has been divided at the National Assembly over the last few months, with some members who joined the Deputy President William Ruto's linked UDA. The majority whip at the House, Emmanuel Wangwe, however, says he has not been a major setback in the party's performance in the House. He spoke to our very own Elizabeth Mutuku.
In a scale of 1 to 10, can you say you've scored at what percent?
I'll give myself an 8.
Why?
Let me explain the two. The two, we allow it for a margin of error. Human is to error. And not everything that we achieved of the 8 is satisfactory to those who are opposed to it. Therefore, we allow them to go with the 2. The 8 is because the mandate of a whip in the National Assembly is to deliver the government business and make sure all that the government wants to be done is achieved through the flow of the House. A scenario which, to me, up to now, we have achieved. I took over the leadership at a time when there was a leadership already, and the general public expected that once you take over, the other leadership will now come fighting, and we will also retaliate and fight for everything. A scenario which, from my office, I contained. And those who are the other side of the political divide have tried as much as possible to bring them together.
I understand still there are differences in your Jubilee Party and which is the majority party in the House. And still members have not been whipped to an extent. They are still together. What are you still doing about this?
Thank you. Liz, you know, I wouldn't want to say there are differences. The party on the floor is very much united. We vote as one. We walk with the journey that we began together. In fact, let me tell you, Liz, most of those ones whom you can perceive like they are not with us will not want to see a government business coming down, because government business is not for a particular party. It is actually for our life. So according to me, they are reasonable, they understand what they are doing, and so there is nothing much you call difference. What you see out there, specifically with UDA and Jubilee, those are various political ideologies going into the 2022. We are all going to be in different political belonging in 2022, but not now. For now, the House is united. And when you look at, Liz, for example, the BBI scenario, for you to raise 234 members in one basket, you cannot say you are divided.
You raised 234 members, yes, I agree with you, yes, but still members of your party voted otherwise.
No problem. That's democracy. A few who voted otherwise, but majority voted in the box. So democracy does not say you hold one at ransom. Instead, you guide the person, and the person bears the brand of where you're headed.
Are we going to see more expulsions of your people here in Parliament? Because we understand still the differences outside there, however much you're telling me they are not there. They are still there, and they are inevitable.
Definitely. Jubilee Party or Jubilee Coalition respects the rule of law. The political parties act guides us on what we are supposed to do when a member does not comply with the law. So definitely, there are those who would want to hide into other kind of chamas or whatever. That is only but for preparation. But they don't come with it into what we are choosing. When you look at all those members of UDA, they contribute to the party, Jubilee Party. All those members of UDA, ask them to say they're in UDA. They'll tell you no, they're in Jubilee. So meaning we have to play a cat and mouse. It's a political way of separating.
Can you categorically say that they contribute towards the party? Because we had some of them saying that they are going to minimize their contributions, or maybe they are going to slash their contributions, and others were saying they're going to write to the speaker regarding this.
I want you to point anyone, and from where I sit, I have a record here with me, which gives me each member how much he contributes. He might not have contributed the 10,000, but he contributes to Jubilee Party. He is a member of Jubilee Party. So we cannot say we have a member of UDA on the floor. Maybe if it comes to Kiamba, which I don't see them winning Kiamba. If it comes, well and good. But for them, I don't see them winning Kiamba, so they have no member on the floor. To me, they all belong to Jubilee Party.
How do you feel knowing that this is your party and still there is UDA within the Jubilee Party and being a majority whip?
To me, where I sit, I hear UDA from the newspapers, from the fourth estate. But in the House, it's not there.
They say Jubilee Party has a lot of dictatorship, and only 2 people are controlling this party, 2 leaders that is, and they are not able to be called for meetings. That's why the party is losing its ground
The language called dictatorship is not there in Jubilee. When you look at the way we handle all our cases, there is no dictatorship. Talk of how we were removing even the membership, it was through the PG, parliamentary group meeting. There is no dictatorship.
Selected.
So from where I sit, English is a borrowed language. Whether you want to call it selected, whether you want to call it it was anointed or it was invited, what I know, look at the constitution of the Jubilee Party, the membership that is constituted of the PG, and who is to chair the PG. There is no PG the party leaders fail to chair. He always chairs our PG. That means we are within the law. And nobody has been stopped from talking in a PG. All persons have thrown tantrums in PGs, and we all accommodate. That is democracy.
The 12th Parliament, how can you rate it?
In terms of?
Performance, unity, considering that it came during handshake time.
I want to rate the 12th Parliament, especially after the handshake, that it has been, it's more accommodative, it's organized, and it's united for the common cause of representation, oversight, and legislation.